Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Lost Odyssey walkthrough. So we are still in the the first town, if you can believe that. And we need to find our next dream here. We are at... Oh, they texted me. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and we've got... I think this is... Yeah, it's 6. So let's go see if we can find 4 and 5. Oh, we have to... Okay, so we have to leave and then come back in. Interesting. Alright, we're looking for Bono, who's sitting next to one of the tables. Huh? Who are you? Weak-willed Philsa. Kent attack has been repelled, but our forces have been devastated. What's going to happen? Oh, poor Philsa. She needs a pat on the back and to be told that everything is alright. Must not be... Okay, so it's not these guys. Maybe it's somebody upstairs? Bono! Bono, where are you? Oh. Here we are. Mysterious sounding Bono. I used to work as a jail warden. It was so strange to see the prisoners start riots over and over again. All it did was extend their sentences, you know? I have no idea why they kept on acting that way, really. Oh, we're about to find out. Kime recalls a memory that was locked deep within his heart. Alright. Dream has been revealed. Let's dream. He knows that it is useless, but he can't suppress the impulse that wells up from within his own flesh. He needs to do it, to hurl his entire body against the bars. It does no good at all. His flesh simply bounces off the thick iron bars. Number 8, what the hell are you doing? The guard's angry shout echoes down the corridor. The prisoners are never called by name, only by the numbers on their cells. Kime is number 8. Kime says nothing. Instead, he slams his shoulders against the bars. The massive bars of iron never budge. All they do is leave a dull, heavy ache in Kime's superbly conditioned muscles and bones. Now, instead of shouting again, the guard blows his whistle and the other guards come running from their station. Number 8, what's it going to take to make you understand? Do you want to be thrown into the punishment cell? Don't look at me like that. Start resisting, and all it will get you is a longer time in here. Sitting on the floor of his cell, legs splayed out, Kime ignores the guard's shouts. He has been to the punishment room any number of times. He knows he has been branded a highly rebellious prisoner, but he can't help himself. Something is squirming deep down inside him. Some hot thing trapped there is seething and writhing. Some war hero you turned out to be, says one guard. You can't do shit in here. What's the matter, soldier boy? Can't do anything without an enemy staring you in the face? The guard next to him taunts Kime with laughter. Too bad for you, buddy. No enemies in here. Nobody from your side either. I've got you locked up all by yourself. After the guard leave, Kime curls up on the floor, hugging his knees, eyes clamped tight. All by myself. The guard was right. I thought I was used to living alone. In the battle on the road, but the loneliness here in prison is deeper than I've ever experienced before and more frightening. Walls on 3 sides, and beyond the bars nothing but another wall enclosing the narrow corridor. This dungeon was built so as to prevent prisoners from seeing each other or even to sense each other's presence. The total lack of a change in the view paralyzes the sense of time as well. Kime has no idea how many days have passed since he was thrown in here. Time flows on, that much is certain, but with nowhere to go, it simply stagnates inside him. The true torture that prison inflicts on a man is neither to rob him of his freedom, nor to force him to experience loneliness. The real punishment is having to live where nothing ever moves in your field of view, and time never flows. The water in a river will never putrefy, but lock it in a jar, and that's exactly what it will eventually do. The same is true here. Maybe parts of him deep down in his body and mind are already beginning to give off a rotten stench. Because he is aware of this, Kym drags himself up from the floor again and slams himself into the bars over and over. There is not the remotest chance that doing so will break a bar, nor does he think he can manage to escape this way. Still, he does it repeatedly. Can't help himself. He has to do it again and again. In the instant before his body smashes into the bars, for that split second, a puff of wind strikes his cheek. The unmoving air moves, if only for that brief interval. The touch of the air is the one thing that gives Kym a fragmentary hint of the flow of time. The guards come running, faces grim with anger. Now I can see human shapes where before there was only a wall. That alone is enough to lift my spirits. Don't these guards realize that? All right, number 8, it's the punishment room for you. Let's see if 3 days in there will cool your head. Kym's lips relax into a smile when he hears the order. Don't these guys get it? Now my scenery will change. Time will start flowing again. I'm thankful for that. Kym laughs out loud. The guards tie his hands behind him, put chains on his ankles, and start for the punishment room. What the hell are you laughing at, number 8? Yeah, stop it. We'll punish you even more. But Kym just keeps on laughing at the top of his lungs. If I fill my lungs with all new air, will the stench disappear? Or have my body and mind rotted so much already that I can't get rid of the stench so easily? How long will they keep me locked up in here? When can I get out of here? Will it be too late by then? When everything has rotted away, will I become less a him than an it? The way our troops count enemy corpses? Kym can hardly breathe. It is as if the air is being squeezed out of his chest, and the excruciating pain of it is drawing him back from the world of dream to reality. Was I once in a prison in the far, far distant past? He half wonders if the space between dream and reality. He has had this dream any number of times, this nightmare. It might even be called. After waking, he tries to recall it, but nothing stays in his memory. One thing is certain, however, the appearance of the jail and of the guards in the dream is always the same. Could this be something I have actually experienced? If so, when could it have been? There is no way for him to tell. Once he is fully awake, those questions he asked between dream and reality are themselves erased from his memory. He springs up with a scream, his breath labored, the back of his hand wiping the streams of sweat from his brow, and all that is left is the shuddering terror. It is always like this. Now, too, he mutters to himself as he attempts to retrieve whatever memory is left in a remote corner of his brain. What kind of past life could I have lived through? Now, too. What kind of past life could I have lived through? End. Well, that one was pretty interesting. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. I have to go out one more time and come back in. Stupid damned magic engines. They think they can just up and take my damn job away from me. Pickled Viren. Awesome. Alright, so this guy's a drinker. Come on, Dad, I gotta get you home already. Aw, poor little guy. Kym recalls a memory that was locked deep within his heart. A dream has been revealed. Let's dream. A mother comes home. The boy has lost his smile, though he denies it. Don't be silly, Kym. Look, I'm smiling, aren't I? He draws his cheeks back and lets his teeth show white against his brown skin. If this isn't a smile, what is? Kym nods, but says nothing. He pats the boy on the shoulder as if to say, sure. Come on, really look at me. I'm smiling, right? Right, you're smiling. Anyway, forget about me. Hurry, let's go. The boy has a sweet, open nature. He made instant friends with Kime while the other townspeople kept their distance from the strange traveler. Not that the boy chose the much older Kime as a playmate. He leads Kime to the tavern, which still hasn't opened its doors for the day. I hate to ask you to do this, but would you please? The boy's voice seems to have carried inside. A man in the tavern peels off a drunken howl. He sounds especially bad today. Kime fights back a sigh and enters the tavern. The man on the bar stool is the boy's father, drunk again at midday. The boy is here to take him home. He looks at his father with sad eyes. Kime puts his arm around the father's shoulder and discreetly moves the whiskey bottle away from him. Let's call it a day, he says. The man shoves Kime's arm off and slumps down on the bar. I hate guys like you, he says. Yes, I know, says Kime. It's time to go home, though. You've had enough. You heard me, Kime, drifter. I hate you guys. I really, really, really hate you guys. The father is always like this when he is drunk. Hurling curses at all the drifters, picking fights with any man dressed for the road, and finally slumping to the ground to sleep it off. His son is too small to drag him home. With a sigh, Kime finds himself again today supporting the drunken father's weight to keep him from toppling off the bar stool. The boy stares at his father, his eyes a jumble of sadness, anger, and pity. When his eyes meet Kime's, he shrugs as if to say, sorry to keep putting you through this. But Kime is used to it. He has seen the father dead drunk almost every day for the past year, ever since the boy and his father were left to live alone. Oh well, the boy says with a strained smile, as if trying to resign himself to the situation. Poor Papa. Poor me. Supporting the father's weight on his shoulder, Kime gives the boy a smile and says, yes, but don't go out and get drunk the way he does. The boy says, puffing his chest out. Sometimes kids are tougher than the grown-ups. Kime broadens his smile to signal him. You're right. Of course I'm right, the boy all but says with the smile he gives back. It's the only kind of smile the 10-year-old has managed to produce in the past year. So bitter it would numb your tongue if you could taste it. The boy's mother, the father's wife, left home a year ago. She fell in love with a traveling salesman and abandoned the boy and his father. Mama was bored, the boy says matter-of-factly, looking back on his mother's infidelity. She got tired of doing the same thing every day. That's when she met him. At the tender age of 10, the boy has learned that there are certain stories that have to be told with that matter-of-fact tone. The father was born and raised in this small town and worked in the town office. He was not especially talented, but it was not a job that called for talent or a quick wit. All he had to do was follow orders with diligence and submissiveness, and he did exactly that, year after that year, without making waves. He called our life peaceful, but Mama didn't think so. She said it was just ordinary and no fun. She was attracted to the life of the crafty traveling salesman. It was risky and exciting, like walking on top of a prison wall. One misstep and you could end up inside. Papa told Mama that the man was deceiving her. All he wanted was her money, but he couldn't get through to her. Mama couldn't even think about us back then. With utter detachment, as though holding it at arm's length, the boy reflects on the tragedy that struck his family. I've heard the saying, love is blind. It really is, he says with a shrug and a sardonic laugh like a full-fledged adult. Kime says nothing. Children should act their age is another saying, but probably not the one that could be spoken with a great deal of meaning to a boy who had lost his mother's love. And even if Kime presumed to admonish him, the boy would likely pass it off with a strained smile and say, some kids are tougher than grown-ups. The boy's father, however, shows his displeasure when the son uses grown-up expressions. The little twerp's lost all his boyishness. He despises me now. He thinks I'm pitiful. Deep down he's laughing at me for letting my wife be taken by another man. Damn him. Bothers him especially when he is drunk. His annoyance far outweighs his fatherly love for his son. Sometimes he even slaps the boy across the face, or tries to. When he is drunk, the boy can easily dodge his slaps, and he ends up sprawled on the floor. Even as he is drowning in a sea of liquor, he can sometimes turn unexpectedly serious and start asking questions. Say, Kym, you've been traveling for a long time, right? Uh-huh. Do you enjoy it all that much? Going to strange towns, meeting strangers, can't be all that. Is it so wonderful that you'd be willing to abandon the life you're living now for it? He asks the same thing over and over. Kym's answer is always the same. Sometimes it's enjoyable, and sometimes it's not. He doesn't know what else to say. You know, Kym, I've never set foot outside this town. Same with my father and my grandfather and my great-grandfather, and the one before him. We've always been born here and died here. My wife's family, too. They've had roots in this town for generations. So why did she do it? Why did she leave? What did she need so badly that she had to leave me and her own son? Kym merely smiles without answering. The answer to such a question cannot be conveyed in words. Try though he might to explain it, the reason certain people are drawn irresistibly to the road can never be understood by people who don't have that impulse. The father is simply one of those people who can never understand. Failing to elicit a reply from Kym, the father sinks again into the sea of drunkenness. I'm scared, Kym, he says. My son might do it too. He might go away and leave me here someday. When I hear him talking like a grown-up, I get so scared I can't stand it. The boy's mother eventually comes back. The traveling salesman cheated on her. The traveling salesman cheated her out of every last bit of her savings, and the moment she was no longer of any use to him, he left her. Physically and mentally broken, she has only one place to return to, the home she abandoned. First, she writes a letter from the neighboring town, and when her husband reads it again and again, through drink-clouded eyes, he laughs derisively. Serves her right, the miserable witch. He makes a show of tearing the letter to pieces in front of Kym without showing it to his son. Kym tells the boy everything and asks him, so what do you want to do? Whatever you decide, I'll help you make it happen. Whatever I decide, the boy asks in return with his usual detached smile. If you want to leave this town, I'll let you have enough money to help you get by for a while, Kym says. I can do that much. He is utterly serious. The father has no intention of forgiving his wife. He will almost certainly turn her away if she shows up, and probably with a proud, vindictive smile on his face. Kym knows, however, that if the mother loses her home and leaves this town once and for all, the father will go back to drinking every day, cursing his wife's infidelity, bemoaning his own fate, taking out his anger on strangers, and constantly revealing the worst side of himself to his son. Kym's long life on the road has taught him this. Constant travel means meeting many different people, and the boy's father is undoubtedly one of the weakest men Kym has ever met. You could join your mother and go to another town, or if you wanted to go somewhere by yourself, I could find you work. Either would be better, Kym believes, than for the boy to continue living alone like this with his father. The boy, however, seemingly intrigued, looks straight at Kym, revealing his white teeth. You've been traveling a long time, haven't you, Kym? Uh-huh. Always alone? Sometimes alone, sometimes not. The boy gives a little nod and, with a sad smile of a grown-up, says, You really don't get it, do you? What's that? All this traveling and you still don't understand the most important thing. His sad smile takes on its usual bitter edge. Kym finally learns what the boy is talking about 3 days later. A tired-looking woman in tattered clothes drags herself from the highway into the marketplace. The townsfolk back away from her, staring, leaving her in the center of a broad, empty circle. The boy's mother has come back. The boy breaks his way through the crowd and enters the circle. The mother sees her son, and her withered cheeks break into a smile. The boy takes one step and another step toward his emaciated, smiling mother. He is hesitant at first, but from the third step he is running, and he throws his arms around her. He is crying. He is smiling. For the first time that Kym has seen, he wears the unclouded smile of a child. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, his mother begs in tears. She clasps his head to her bosom and says, smiling through her tears, You've gotten so big. And she adds, I won't leave you again. I'll stay here forever. A stir goes through the crowd. It comes from the direction of the tavern. Now the father breaks through the wall of people and enters the circle. He is drunk. Stumbling, he edges toward his wife and son. He glares at his wife. The boy stands between them, guarding his mother. Papa, stop it, he yells. Mama's back. That's enough, isn't it? Forgive her, Papa, please. His voice is choked with tears. The father says nothing in reply. Glaring at the two of them, he collapses to his knees, his arms open wide. He enfolds both his wife and son. The shattered family is one again. Papa, please, don't hold it so tight, it hurts. The boy is crying and smiling. The mother can only sob, but the father weeps in his rage. Witnessing the scene from the back of the crowd, Kym turns on his heels. Are you really leaving? The boy asks again and again as he accompanies Kym to the edge of town. Uh-huh. Want to get across the ocean before winter sets in. Papa is already missing you. He says he thought you two could finally become drinking buddies from now on. You can drink with him when you grow up. When I grow up, huh? The boy cocks his head a little embarrassed, then he mutters, I wonder if I'll still be living in this town then. No one knows that, of course. Maybe some years from now, the father will spend his days drunk again because his son has left his hometown and family. And yet, Kym recalls something he forgot to say to the boy's weak father. We call it a journey because we have a place to come home to. No matter how many detours or mistakes a person might make, as long as he has a place to come home to, a person can always start again. I don't get it, says the boy. Kym remembers something else. Smile for me, he says one last time, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder, like this. He reveals his white teeth and his cheeks wrinkle up. It's a good smile. He has finally managed to retrieve the smile of a young boy. Now it's your turn, Kym. Sure. The boy studies Kym's smile as if assigning it a grade. Maybe a little sad, he says. That he is joking makes his words hit home all the more. The boy smiles again, as if providing a model for Kym. Okay, then, he says with a wave of his hand. I'm going shopping with Papa and Mama today. Kym smiles back and walks away. Then he hears the boy calling his name one last time. Even if we're saying goodbye, I'm not going to cry, Kym. Sometimes kids are tougher than grown-ups. Kym does not look back. His only reply, a wave of his hand. The boy's expression would probably change if their eyes met. He decides to play it strong to the end. Kym walks on. After a brief respite, his journey with no place to go home and starts again. A journey with no place to go home to. The poets call that wandering. End. Alright, that one was pretty cute too. Alright, so we need to get out of here now. Let me just check. What's our time like? Was that two dreams or was that one? I think that was two. Okay, let's I'll go to the first or to the gate and then I'll probably save around there. Yeah, wow. These dreams are freaking heavy. I love them. Whoever wrote these are amazing. It's amazing writing. All right, let's Trump. Oops. Thought I could go around there, but apparently not. All right, let's take the cab. To the Great Gate. Please get in. Okay. 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 Oh. Oh, what is this? Oh, you can go back, apparently, to the Highlands. That's interesting. Alright, so let's go to the Ypsilon Mountains. This music is amazing, of course, because of course it is.
This is like a death march. Hey, we gotta get through that. There's no road.
Get yourself together. If this is all it takes to wear you out, we're in trouble.
Yeah, well, I don't wear out in bed.
Once we get through here, there's the Ypsilon Range. Those mountains are steep and rugged. The weather is unpredictable. And since the ground is unstable, we have to be on the lookout for rock slides too. Of course, I expect to see you take a tumble into the canyon before we see any rocks doing it.
Yeah, buddy. You know, Lord Gungora was saying you have a problem with your memory, right? I mean, you sure know these mountains well enough. And of course, you know you shave your legs every day and you pluck your eyebrows. And you owe me money, so I'm confused. You sure you really don't remember?
My body remembers.
What?
There was a time when I used to rush through here. I was a pirate, and supposedly I also went through these mountains. I just don't know what the truth is. I don't have any answers.
Huh. Well, what about you? Did anyone tell you what the woods were? No. Nothing? Well, since you're so upbeat and happy, I doubt if anyone will remember you.
That's fine with me.
Oh?
My body also remembers.
How so?
Just that it was painful. If I happen to remember, and my past didn't amount to much, then I think it's probably better to have never remembered.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Kind. There's no need to rush it. Your memories will come back gradually. And they're not all bad.
What? No brakes?
You just had one.
How about some water? A little fruit? How about a foot massage? My feet don't stink. Kaim, you up for that? Hello?
Oh my god. Yeah, that is hilarious. Ram this tree. Take that! 100 G's. Look at that. Just hidden up in the tree. I like that. Alright, let's I'm gonna save here, and then let me just check our time here. Yeah, oh yeah, that was actually really good timing. Alright, I'm gonna save my game, and yeah, we'll just cut it here. So, as always, I hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.